Hi. This is sort of interesting. I was listening to the last few talks, and I keep thinking there's some themes here that kind of keep coming up that I'm coming back to again, and I thought, oh, well, I guess that's good. That's the Guilford part coming through. So that's kind of exciting. I sort of started writing this weeks and weeks ago, and a lot's changed since then. So forgive me if I drift off topic. I only have 10 minutes, so I can't drift too far. Anyway, I thought I probably should start by admitting that I never really planned to come to Guilford. It wasn't my backup choice. I wasn't very forward-thinking in high school, so I hadn't really given college much thought at all. And I applied to a handful of places, based mostly on where people I knew had gone that didn't seem too intimidating. College was this unknown and foreign idea. I had no idea how I would make my decision, except I knew it would be practical. Sure. I knew I was interested in studying theater, and every other school that I applied to had a reputation as a strong theater school. And I knew nothing at all about Guilford's theater program. So I applied on what you might call a whim, but was probably more like a leading. And I sat in on classes at every school, and I met with professors and students. Every time I thought, I really should want to attend classes here. But I didn't. And they were good programs, My practical thoughts were insisting I should give one of these programs a try. But the only professors that I developed a real bond with when visiting was here at Guilford. The only campus where I felt at home was Guilford. And at first I was afraid to admit that I knew I was a Guilfordian at heart, even to myself, because I couldn't defend my choice logically at the time. But I knew. It was it was an indication of the quiet but insistent pull of this place. And one of the best decisions I ever made was to take the risk of honoring that impulse. Right? I said yes. I wasn't sure what the question was. I sure didn't know what the answer might look like, but I was somehow able to put aside logic or what was supposed to happen and just listen. And I think that what I knew instinctively was that at Guilford I would be expected to develop into a more perfect version of myself, not just be taught how to become better at what I thought I wanted to be professionally. Right? There's a subtle but important difference, right? I could have learned the technical skills to be a better actor, at any number of programs, but at Guilford I learned how to be a better person, right? A better version of the person I already was, and to understand who I was in relationship to other people. And that, as much as any technique, is what I find most satisfying as a theater practitioner now, 15 years after graduation. I like to joke that I went to Guilford to get an education, not a job, which is good because that's what I got. Right? It's not easy cobbling together enough work as a theater artist, but there is something deeper in that it's true, because ultimately what I got out of Guilford was the idea that theater is not mercenary. It's not at its heart transactional. We should be in the business of creating space for listening, because theater is ultimately a way to connect human being to human being and tell stories that mean something. I hate to admit it, but Guilford sort of turned me into a theater snob. It's just that in the sense of I have a very low tolerance now for theater that doesn't live up to the potential of what the art form can be. I don't have any interest in seeing a play in which the actors or designers or anybody else is not challenging themselves, or a play that's technically proficient but seems isolated from the world in which we live. If your play does not challenge or affirm something fundamental in the way we live, I'm not interested. And you know what I saw as I was visiting Perspective, the play that kicked all this high-minded, social, invested, blah, blah, blah into action, was Noises Off. Right? It's this ridiculous farce. It has, on the face of it, no redeeming social value whatever. But in retrospect, even that arguable fluff piece embodied the things that I grew to love and respect about a Guilford education. For starters, there are plenty of second-rate farces that get produced regularly. This is not one of them. This is one of the most brilliantly conceived and written farces in the history of the world. The play is so good that many theater producers think all they have to do is get actors to go through the motions and make funny faces and get laughs. And they will get laughs, But what I learned at Guilford is that is not enough. The cast I saw treated that material with every bit of the care and respect that they would have afforded Shakespeare or Chekhov, and as a result, the play succeeded like almost nothing I have seen since at bringing the audience together in a shared experience of laughter that bonded us in the moment and allowed us to experience and enjoy emotions that some of us hadn't even realized were there. And that is valuable. They didn't settle for the easy laughs. They didn't settle at all. You know, even the set was so detailed. Right here in Sternberger, I remember walking in and I was trying to figure out if it was a set or if there just happened to be a room on campus that was just perfect for the production. And then the whole thing rotated 180 degrees. You know, I witnessed that night the confluence of dedication, work, and generosity. And that is a powerful combination. And in the past 15 years, I've come to identify as a theater producer as much as an actor. And that's largely because after Guilford, I'm not content to settle. I don't want to be stuck only getting work on other people's conditions. Sometimes those people work with great skill and integrity, but often not. You know, I don't only want to be a part of shows that other people decide to produce. Sometimes they have compelling reasons to do so, but often not. I don't want to always have to take work when it comes my way because I need the money without also having an outlet to bring audiences plays that would stand up to scrutiny from my professors at Guilford. Plays that challenge the artists and the audiences to be the best versions of themselves that they can be and to stake a claim. The plays stake a claim as both art and as social and emotional bulwarks. And let me say this too, I never went to graduate school, so I never spent a vigorous chunk of time devoted to nothing but honing my craft as an actor. And I wish I had. I will someday. But given the choice between a conservatory experience or a liberal arts one, I will go with Guilford every time because Guilford fosters whole people, not just hyper-specialized ones. Right? A successful Guilford education requires an opening up of the soul, not just rigorous coursework, although it requires that too. You know, it makes space for the world to enter a person as well as preparing a person to enter the world. And because I had no expectations of what I would be like at the end of my college experience, and because the Guilford professors could see that I was here to discover what I would be like, even if I didn't realize that myself yet, I was able to say yes to life-changing experiences, big and small, from joining QLSP to adding a second major, from playing with the school Oompa band. Did you know we had one of those? To studying abroad, from cooking dinner to Arlo Guthrie, to protesting the closing of the school-run bookstore. Guilford asked hard questions, but without presuming to know the answers. I just had to say, yes, I will seek the answers, and I will recognize that what I find with your guidance will in turn be accepted and encouraged. The answer back will also be yes. And 15 years later, the Guilford I went to is already gone in some ways, right? The entire theater department is in new hands. Friends Center has a new director. Only the German department is unchanged. One person. But that's okay. The ideals of the place carry on, even as individuals move on. Now, I carry my Guilford experience with me. I'm lucky to share my life with others who carry it with them too, including my wife. My theater was co-founded by myself and a Guilford classmate. We met our first managing director at Guilford, and a second, come to think of it. Guilford alums have acted in our shows. They've served on our board of trustees. They've designed and built sets, lights, sound, costumes for our productions. They've even designed our website. We have company meetings in a local coffee shop run by a Guilford classmate. And many of these people I knew when I was a student, but not all of them. And I continue to seek out fellow Guilfordians, not out of some blind loyalty, but because being here helps people learn how to listen deeply and productively. Having shared this place, having listened together to our professors, our mentors, to each other, to the very ground and trees, to the spirit that somehow is born from this whole messy confluence of people and ideas and experiences and history and faith, that leaves a mark. It leaves an understanding that without a connection to our communities, great and small, our work, whatever it may be, will be of less use to our world and to ourselves. So we do the work. We slowly become the best versions of ourselves and allow that to inform our lives and our actions. We lay the foundations for what is to come, but we do so while listening, because we don't know what's coming next, and we embrace that. The combination of thoughtful, thorough work and quiet, purposeful listening can assure that we are well prepared to admit surprise and wonder and opportunity into our lives. We don't have to have all the answers. We don't have to know all the questions. But we do have to be prepared to accept that whatever they turn out to be, we can meet them with yes. Thanks.